Today we're going to be working on turning this black walnut slab into an epoxy and walnut end table. We're not going to excruciatingly break down each step, but more just show you what we did along the way.
Alright, so I've got my layout. There's a couple things in this wood that I do not want to be on this end table. I've created a layout that will make it to where I have the optimal size without getting any of the weird little divots and cracks and stuff that this wood has in it.
Don't worry, in future videos we'll put the rest of this slab to good use.
So, let's get started.
Now that we know which parts of this slab we want to use for the end table, we're just cutting it down with the miter saw.
This is the perfect size for an end table. With this being black walnut, it is going to be absolutely beautiful. You have to stick around and see how it ends.
Since there are a few knots and things that wouldn't bond well to the epoxy or might chip out later, first we're starting with working some of those out with the chisel. And here we're using some CA glue on the end of a kebab to fill some of these smaller holes. Once we get it kind of pretty good and filled with the CA glue, you'll see the activator come in just right there. Doing the same thing here, a little bit of thicker CA glue and some activator. Now we're going to mix up our epoxy and add a touch of some black pigment to it, which we did off camera. And we're just going to fill the larger holes, the things that we didn't want to use CA glue on, using our patented little popsicle stick method.
Alright, now that epoxy is done, it is time to plane this down. So, let's go.
Planing can be a little bit dangerous. With epoxy you can get some chip out, but we have a nice new sharp planer and planer blade. So we're pretty confident here. What my son's doing is getting a sled ready to send the slab through.
Here and here, and run this bad boy through the planer.
If you're not familiar with using MDF to make a sled, basically what we're doing is putting the slab on this MDF with a stop in the front and the back to make sure that we get a nice flat surface for planing.
Our sled is now complete. Let's get to planing.
Although I'm a little sad that we didn't get any more glory shots of the planing, this is the process of sending it through and getting it nice and flat.
Planing complete. Let's get this sanded.
For the sanding process, we're going to go through our grits up to about 120 or 180, sand down the sides nice and well to make sure that we don't have any hangers on. Although we do have a crosscut sled, my son opted not to use it and almost paid for not having safety glasses. The last thing to do is apply some Rubio Monocoat, which is what you're seeing here. We just applied it with a card and then put a little buffer onto our orbital sander. If there's anything you'd like explained further, let us know in the comments and stay tuned. We'll add the legs soon.